Imagine being told you're unlovable, not as a whisper, but as a constant echo throughout your childhood. Imagine being born into a world that sees you as a mistake, an inconvenience, a burden. Now imagine clawing your way through that darkness with elegance, with wit, and with a voice that could silence rooms. That was Eartha Kitt. I've never met her, although I wish I had, but I feel like I know her. I feel her presence in the cracks of strength I've had to build, in the moments I've chosen not to shrink, not to apologize. Eartha Kitt was more than a singer or an actress. She was a spirit, raw, resilient, and radiant. Today we remember her, not just the icon in sequence and spotlight, but the woman behind the velvet voice and the cat-like stare. The survivor, the truth teller, the walking contradiction who made no apologies for her complexity. To understand Eartha's power, we have to begin with the pain. She was born in 1927 in South Carolina, the result of rape. She was mixed race in a place where that meant she didn't belong anywhere. Her mother abandoned her, and Eartha was passed around from house to house like a burden that no one wanted to carry. She was just 8 years old when she heard the words, "Your mother didn't want you." That kind of sorrow doesn't disappear. It settles into the bones. But instead of letting it crush her, Eartha used it. She let it shape her, to sharpen her. And eventually, she let it lift her. Her rise wasn't just about talent, though she had plenty. Her voice could purr, growl, sing, seduce. But it was her presence that captivated. You didn't just hear Eartha Kitt. You felt Eartha Kitt. She challenged every box they tried to place her in. When she spoke out against the Vietnam War at the White House luncheon in 1968, she was blacklisted. Her career in the U.S. plummeted. Most would have backed down, but not Eartha. She packed her bags and went international. She performed in Europe, reinvented herself, and kept working. She didn't bow, she didn't break. Eartha once said, "My recipe for life is not being afraid of myself." And that's what made her dangerous and divine. But even in her defiance, Eartha was no stranger to sorrow. She admitted in interviews that she often felt lonely, that rejection from childhood never fully faded. Her toughness wasn't a mask, it was an armor. Armor forged in abandonment and polished by performance. She found joy in her daughter, Kit. She spoke of love with reverence, but she never compromised herself to find it. She famously asked, "Compromise? For what?" when asked if she'd ever settle for a man. That wasn't bitterness, that was clarity. She knew her worth, and she demanded others to recognize it too. Eartha Kitt's story is a blueprint for anyone who's ever been told they're too loud, too sensitive, too bold, or too difficult. She reminds us that we don't have to be palatable to be powerful, that softness and steel can live in the same skin. Her legacy lives on in the artists who defy, the misfits who create, the women, queer folks who dare to take up space, in every purr of self-love, in every boundary set without apology, in every roar that comes from deep within. Eartha once said, "I fall in love with myself, and I want someone to share it with me." That wasn't arrogance, that was survival, that was wisdom. So let us remember her, not as someone who performed for our applause, but as someone who performed her truth, no matter the cost. Let us carry her story as proof that sorrow can birth strength, and that living loudly, authentically, and unapologetically is the most powerful act of all. Thank you.